Why am I always broke? Is that a question that you find that you're asking yourself month after month? Well, let me tell you this. This is not just a low income family question. This is for middle income families as well. A lot of us today are asking ourselves, where is my money going? I get paid and oh my gosh, it's like my money does a vanishing trick. Where is my money going? Well, let's talk about some of these expenses that are hammering away at our budgets. Well, we start with the first thing is employers are not, in most cases, paying their employees appropriately. They are not keeping up with the cost of living. Those raises that they give you, I remember decades ago, we used to get 3% raises. Then somehow it was reduced to 2.5% as if things weren't getting more expensive. And then next thing you know, our raise is 2%. And now I'm hearing 1.5% raise, or in some cases, no raises at all. I mean, come on, we all have expenses here. We've got our home costs are expensive. You know, the mortgage, the taxes have gone up. You've got your energy costs have gone up. And not to mention the cost of healthcare. Let's get on healthcare. Okay, so for the average family, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, the average cost, healthcare cost for a family is roughly $27,000 a year. Yeah, you heard me right, $27,000. Now, majority of you with insurance through your job cover majority of that cost, so you usually end up coming out of pocket somewhere around $7,000 a year. But what about the business owners? What about the business owners like myself and other people? Business owners typically, depending on your age and your health, minimally, you're going to come out of the pocket $500 a month, minimally. Okay? And then on top of that, with a lot of these insurance plans, you're going to have an average about $4,000 is going to be your what do you call it? Your yearly deductible, right? So then you usually end up paying somewhere around $10,000 a year is what the real cost would be, which is insane. So what are the other expenses that we have to look at? Well, let's look at the car gas, okay? Gasoline right now have pretty much stabilized. It's not as high as it was a few years ago. Thank you. Great to know. But what about the cost of car insurance? Car insurance has just skyrocketed like everything else. And it's like it's hitting everyone all at once. All of these expenses are hitting you, boom, one thing after another. So what it does is it significantly impacts the average family. And you find that the average family find that it's getting harder to save. It's getting harder to plan for retirement because if you can't save, then you don't have much money to invest with, right? So going back to car insurance. Car insurance for me, I'm 50 years old, living here in Michigan. My car insurance is somewhere around $1,700 a year. Outrageous, ridiculous. For a young person like my daughter who's 24, her car insurance is over $2,200 a year. I mean, it's just insane. And she has a good driving record. So do I. I mean, it's outrageous, right? So, what other costs do we have to deal with? You've got the cost of your clothing that have increased. You've got the cost of food that has increased. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so a lot of people can't afford to absorb all of these costs that are hitting them all at once. So again, this isn't just for low income families, this is middle income families as well. We're all getting hit hard. We're all getting hit hard. So what is the solution? I like to talk about solutions. Now that we know the problem, now let's talk about the solution. Number one, until you are financially stable, you should buy a home that is well below your means. It's time out for trying to keep up with the Joneses and you're out there, buying this big extravagant house. You want to become a new homeowner and you're going to go out there and buy this huge house the first time out. No, I didn't do that. I started with a 1,200 square foot home. Then I moved up to a 2,700 square foot home. Then I moved up to over a 3,300 square foot home. But it took me 3 purchases before I got there. In today's day and age, a lot of young people, they want everything now at the snap of a finger. And that's where you go wrong with your finances. You buy a home that is too expensive and you hardly afford it. And then you buy a car that is too expensive. Again, that's another thing that's eating away at people's budgets. I mean, the cost of a brand new car is astronomical, and the cost of used cars is astronomical. So again, live within your means. Actually, let's live below our means in the very beginning. Number 2, kids are expensive. So whenever possible, if you haven't had children, delay parenthood for a little while, get yourself financially stable, and make sure that you have a good savings and you have just financial security before you have children. But however, if you already have children, before extending your family, again, make sure that you're financially stable. Number 3, make a wise career choice. I cannot express that enough. There are some jobs out there, especially the trades, hint, hint, that AI will likely not take over anytime soon, simply because with the trades, you physically need an individual there to actually service your appliances, or to service your piping, or your furnace, hot water heater, things of that nature. I recently had to have a 2-year-old refrigerator serviced. Ridiculous. I'm telling you, appliances aren't built to last these days. But anyway, the guy was here, 15 minutes, and he made $90. Come on. Think about it. The trades may be a better option than going to college and coming out $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in debt. So be very careful. Before you settle on a career, know the end result. How much am I going to earn after I finish investing this amount of money and time into my career? Is it going to give me the lifestyle that I'm looking for? Number 4, if you are a business owner, before you start that business, I want you to think very carefully about whether or not your business will succeed in the event of a recession. So in other words, whether people are going through hard times or good times, will they patronize your business? Think very carefully about that. So number 5, what skill do you possess that you could turn into a money-making venture? Okay, think about it. What are some of your skills, and how can you monetize those skills? Monetizing those skills could bring in additional income that you could use to help pay for some of these expenses that have gone out of control. And last but not least, number 6, if you have an additional room in your house, you could house hack. You could allow someone to rent a room in your home. Then that rent would cover additional expenses that maybe your income doesn't cover, or it could cover additional expenses so that you then would be allowed to save money. So think about it very carefully. Is it comfortable or convenient having some stranger live in your home? No, it isn't. But in the past, I did that. A few years ago, I tested it out. And I tell you, it's really not that bad. I'm a very chatty person. I'm talkative. So I found that I enjoyed the company of some of my guests. But, you got to do what you got to do until you get to where you want to go, right? So those are the 6 ways that you can mitigate some of the expenses that have grown out of control today. I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching Financial Fix with Sharnella. Please like and subscribe.